Big up, Therapy Army. Welcome to United Real Therapy. Therapy, I'll be last be having you. Let's get in the chat, people. Smash a like on your way in. Forget about being on your way out. Today, we're talking about Moses Caicedo. Moses Caicedo. That's who we're talking about. We're talking about a player for me that I've watched and I've been so impressed with. A player for me who's got the ability to cover lots of ground in quick time. He's got the similar attributes to me personally, to Kante. And then he's got a brilliant passing range, packed with extraordinary eye for gaps in opposition defenses. An absolute mwah of a player. That's who I'm talking about today. I'm talking about him. And if Manchester United let this player go, like they let Kante go, Manchester United are going to regret this. They're going to regret this. They're going to regret it. Mark my words. Mark my words. They're going to regret this like they regretted N'Golo Kante. For me, the air, I even think he's got a better ceiling than Conte, right? And he's got better passer and he can even improve more and play as a number 8 as well, not just a number 6. That's my belief. His ceiling is so high. This kid is so good across the ground. He is the player that Manchester United need alongside Casemiro. He is the player that Manchester United need. Do not let anybody else tell you any different. Tom, how is he hanging? How is he going? How is it in lovely Sheffield? Those 7 hills. Tell me the sun is shining. Tell me not like last night. You've got a bit of a hangover for the bank holiday weekend. Scorcher. Hey, it's getting hot in here, lad. It's getting hot in here. Are we having it or what? Are you there, Tom? He'll be with us in a minute. I think he's just doing a bit of work, Tom. Big up, Shobert. Big up, Shobert 0161. Big up, Shobert, man. Not seen you in a long time. Big up.
Yo, what's happening?
Let me just do the intro for you again. Moses Caicedo. Moses Caicedo is a machine. It's immense. He's got this incredible ability to cover the ground like nobody's business. Quick time, mate. Sometimes there's 3 of him. He has similar attributes to Conte. On top of that, he's got brilliant passing packed by an extraordinary eye for gaps in opposition's defense.
Yeah.
He is a one of a player, Saeed. One of a footballer. That's who he is. That's who he is.
Yep. Top quality player, man. By the way, just to give context to the people, man, we could have got him for $4.5 million a couple of seasons ago, but the club didn't want him in it. You know what I mean? They were offered it. You know what I mean to the club.
The biggest thing what he has to improve, Saeed, is that he has to improve on his defensive awareness to become a full-time defensive midfielder. But he's young, Saeed. What is he? 21?
Yeah, 21, 22, I believe. He's very, very young, man.
Unbelievable. The more older you get, that can be coached. That defensive awareness can be coached. But his physicality to get across the ground and his passing. Have you seen the passes that he fizzes through the last third?
He did it at Wembley. He did it at Wembley, man.
His accuracy is unbelievable, Saeed. His accuracy is unbelievable.
Yep. 100%. I think
he's
for me,
so good at stopping people's, like the opposition's attacks, moving the ball forward. These traits, honestly, Saeed.
Yeah, quality player, man.
If I ever known a Manchester United player, he's a Manchester United player. He does. Yep. He takes risk.
Yep, 100%. I agree with you. I think for me, he's a very, very technical footballer. He could do everything. He can tackle. He can pass. He can make. He's very, very good in making them decisive passes in between the lines. Very mobile. Very efficient. Very, he's adaptable to different positions as well. He played right back the other day. He played a couple of times actually and played well there. He's also a leader as well. For a young player, he's a leader in there as well. I think he's a perfect fit for Man United. I would go and spend that money, 70 million, on Caicedo. I really would. But again, I just look at the way we're doing right now. He's not someone that I think United are really looking at, man. And it's sad, man. It's sad that we're not looking at this sort of player. I think what United are doing is that they're happy with Casemiro sitting as a one-holding midfielder, and they're allowing the 2 8s to be advanced, and they play that high-pressing football, similar to the way Jurgen Klopp played. Even Jurgen Klopp, you would argue, all of them 3 weren't sitting midfielders. They would go up and down. and they were playing that rock and roll style. So I think a lot of people are going to be maybe kind of disappointed. I have to see it in totality. We have to wait until the summer starts and the transfer window. Maybe Caicedo might want to come to United. We don't know yet. But
Okay,
right now,
if you're not gonna get him, if you're not gonna get him, get me Latvia then. But this is a
Latvia won't
try.
come because of the Man City links. Man City will come in there and purposely pay that 40 million to go and get him back. They will never, because they put a first buy option for Man City. So Man City have the first option to buy if it happens. So, Declan Rice is what we're linked with, but again, he's another one that maybe going to Bayern Munich, maybe going
How
to
much
Arsenal.
do you rate him, Said? How much do you rate Declan Rice?
I rate him very, very highly. I think for me, do I rate him more than Caicedo? No.
Listen, I don't watch him, but I always think he's a great hype. I always thought that from day dot. He's a good leader, yeah, maybe, but to me, watching David Moyes fucking football makes my eyes bleed.
You know what it is though with Declan Rice though? If he wasn't rated at 100 million, would you have liked him? A lot of people they judge Declan Rice based on
I'll take him for 60 million, Said. 60 million.
But the problem is he'll never be that player. Like you'll never ever get this thingy Rice for 60 million. Even like I said to you, even 1 year left on his deal, Nuruddin, they say, you know what? No, we want 100 million for him because they'd rather negotiate.
I'm sorry,
I'm just saying. Same way with Harry Kane, they'd rather negotiate till 1 more year. 1 year left on his contract, than rather than give him now for 60, 70 million. The market's changed, Nuruddin. The market back in the day used to be if you had 1 year left on your contract, your value would be slashed into half or half the value you actually was because you had 1 year left on his contract.
To be fair, Side, it still is.
No, but it's not really.
There's some ludicrous. Really. Listen, there are ludicrous football clubs who are paying over the odds. That's what
I'm saying to you. But now it's changed. Back in the day, it was halved to what it actually was. Now it's still similar. Like Harry Kane is still 100 million. Whether you want him now or you want him 2-3 years down the line, or if he was in contract, it's the same.
Big up. Listen, big up Khalis Romedi Lasic, Chief Editor United Real Therapy. Says congratulations to Luton Town and Sheffield Wednesday on promotions. Big up to Sheffield Wednesday especially. I got a couple of friends in Sheffield who are Wednesday fans, and now over the Sheffield Derby is back on.
They beat Barnsley. They beat Barnsley.
Yeah, they beat Barnsley.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Big up to them, man.
Yeah, so big up to them. Tom, how you doing? I gave you a big build up, but I think you might have been busy. Talk to me. Where are you? Are you in lovely Sheffield? Are you there with some Sheffield Wednesday fans? Are there after the city celebrating?
No, we're not in Sheffield today. We're in London, so it is what it is. We're in Hackney, London. I'll give away my location if people want to try and track me or whatever. Yep. Like, no, didn't say he's MI5 or whatever's on the case, aren't they, mate? It's more like Neil Ashton, isn't it? But no, like Caicedo said, big up to the teams like Luton, Sheffield Wednesday. Even the teams that have lost in some of the player fans, like even Coventry, for example, like they were in administration not that long ago, and clubs like that to then have the chance to go to the Premier League or go up a division, it is the football fairy tale, isn't it? Let's be honest. With a lot of clubs like that, and I think we do take that for granted when, like you guys have just been talking about there, with players like Declan Rice at £100 million. Like a club like Luton who's just got promoted to the Premier League have £100 million just for getting into the Premier League. Like the way football works and stuff, I do think we take for granted maybe the roots of where football comes from sometimes. But at the end of the day, it is what it is in terms of football, isn't it? But big up as always to everybody in the comments and chat. So yeah, big up.
Big up, man. Big up, Tom. But yeah, I think ultimately it comes down to what the manager and the philosophy is and what we're trying to grow now. Ownership as well. I don't know the situation with ownership, whether Jim Ratcliffe. I can't see for the life of it right now there'd be situations going on where the owners will be making transfer news when really they don't know where the position is at the minute. I can't see that happening. For me, it's maybe the Glazers have said, you know what, while we're working towards this new ownership situation, we'll maybe sort you out with a deal here and there and whatnot. That's the way I look at it. And again, it's up to speculation, but the rumors are that the manager wants signers in early. Why would the manager want signers in early when he knows that the process of a sale is still happening? Like, it ain't gonna happen, mate. So he must have thought, you know what, you guys have took too long. I'm missing out here. That nobody's missing out apart from me, and I don't like that. So get your act together and sort this out. That's just the way I kind of look at it. for me.
Big up, Shilbert. We've just done a Straight Jacket podcast. Straight Jacket podcast 33, I think.
233, yeah.
Yeah, 233. So go and check that out. It's gone off because Saeed is coming in with me with some absolute howlers today, telling me about Mason Mount, and Mason Mount's going to do this and do that. So anyway, I've gone off. It's all gone off.
No, I was giving. No, I wasn't. I'm not.
No, you're giving objective.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know me. I like to frame it as Saeed just waffling.
Yeah, waffling.
And he made me lose my rag. So if you want to go and check it out, go and check it out. But follow Saeed TV. Make sure you follow Tom Journalist one as well. So that's where Shilbert is saying, everybody, one word of advice: don't mention Mount word. Anyway,
that's banned. Mute it.
Big up to everybody, man. Big up to everybody. He says Tenhag wants to listen. Tenhag wants to say thank you to our players. Listen, look. Listen what he said. Big up Khalees from Elastic. Khalees, we're gonna come to this. Look what he says here. Tenhag's question, man, you have invested in January window. We've seen it in the winter. All clubs around us made huge investments. We didn't, but we still made it to. So I'm proud of my team. Well, I'm telling you, it is what it is. People are telling me, oh no, because we spent in the summer. No, it was a helter-skelter summer, mate. It was horrendous summer. So it was what it is. Big up to everybody. Big up Jarvis. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. There's over 100 of you in here. Don't be absolutely like the Glazers and Jim Ratcliffe. If there was ever a signing, will be Mason Mount. It's a signing for Jim the Ratcliffe and Glazer ownership staying at Manchester United. We're going to come to that, and hopefully with Tom, he might have any update for us, but we'll see what it is. Packed show for you today, people. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button because it lets you know when next live. We're on the road to 10K, people, and we're limping like Manchester United did to top 4. We're limping to 10K. So help us out. Let people know by smashing the like on the video. It gets the algorithm. More people see it. If they like the content, they will subscribe. That's how it is, people. That's how it is. But let's go. I'll say it and I say it, Tom. If Manchester United miss out on Caicedo, it will be one of the biggest travesties in recent years. He is a player that's marked like Manchester United player, a risk taker, a guy who is so quick across the ground, covers even when he makes mistakes, covers the ground so good, wins in duels, is an absolute warrior. He's got brilliant passes into the last third. This is it through in the tightest spaces. Even when you try to cut out the passing lanes, he plays it among the passing lanes. And if he gives the ball away, he wins it back. He's very difficult to press, and because he's good at buying free kicks, and he's so physical, he puts his body in the way. So how can Manchester United justify losing out to him, losing any Arsenal or Liverpool or Chelsea buying him? How? Explain to me, please.
I don't think they can, really. And I don't think they can because they've already missed out on him once already. He was a player that when Manchester United did some looking into the youth markets, they looked into Europe and they said, who's the best youngster in Italy? And Amad Diallo was the name that always popped up. And they paid over the odds to get him, to bring him and put him to the United Academy. They looked at the South American market and they said, who's the best young South American midfielder that's out there in the market? They brought up names like Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez. These names were being mentioned. Then who's the best sort of, strikers, attackers in that sort of area? You had your Julian Alvarez's who were coming through the ranks in certain policies and stuff. We obviously picked up such as Palestri from that sort of area and market. Yeah. So we have looked into these markets before. Caicedo was a player, and Tim Vickery did a perfect analysis on Sky Sports years ago, where he said, if Manchester United can get this kid for £10 million, albeit he's 18 years old, it'll set Manchester United back a decade where they won't have to look for another holding midfielder or another rotational player to play the role. And the reason why we didn't go for him was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer looked at the options at the time and thought, we've got enough midfielders. We've got Donny van de Beek, we've got McTominay, Fred, we've got so many midfielders, and we did it already with Jude Bellingham, where you try to negotiate a young player just with money, not the opportunity to actually play, then they don't want to come to your club. It's as simple as that. The only thing with Caicedo now is Brighton. I'm going to make a bold statement in saying this. We can say that they're in the top 6 because they finished there. So I think they do deserve the respect of having that. Out of the top 6 teams in our league that we have right now, they are probably the second best run club in the whole league, if I'm being honest. Behind Manchester City, because we know they have the money and the expertise. Brighton, they have the expertise in abundance. And half of their team left with Graham Potter to Chelsea, and they're still pulling out these players. But like you just said about Caicedo, low sense of gravity on the ball, technical ability, brilliant. Physicality, for such a small, little minuscule player, he can play right back, he can play left back, defence. He don't care where you play him. He's happy to play wherever you want him to play. Those players are so rare to come around, and it's very rare that you get them. And you guys covered anywhere on the Stretch Jacket podcast. Oh, I don't know. You had a boxing match about it back and forth, right? About Mason Mount. But I take something like with Caicedo, and I think Caicedo's a brilliant player to bring in for, and Arsenal, they had £70 million rejected for him in January. January is a very hard market to do business in, but even £70 million in January.
But Tom, the reason why that was because they wanted to get into Europe. Right? They wanted to get into Europe. Their aspirations for Europe.
Which makes sense.
They couldn't afford to lose him in January. But
it makes sense, yeah. But I just look at Caicedo and I think, why Manchester United haggling about? Like, you look at Mason Mount, and Chelsea are quoting 70-75 million pounds from what I hear anyway. And I'm thinking, mate, 70-75 million pounds for a player that he doesn't even sit on the bloody Chelsea bench. He sits in the stand for the majority of this season. He's been injured, inconsistent. Like, he doesn't play. But you have a player like Caicedo, and I always like this with certain players where any club that they've gone to, they're always on the up. They've never had like a negative period or a failure on their record. And do you know what's funny, right? I look at a player like Caicedo and I think, even if he didn't come to Manchester United, would the club that he's already at now, would they be willing to still keep him? And absolutely, hands down, they would still be willing to keep him. That's why I look when we get linked to players like Mason Mount and I think, well, Chelsea, they ain't busting the balls to try and keep him on a long-term contract.
They don't want to offer him the contract. And he's going to get that contract, at us, that contract that he wants, 250 grand a week, he'll get that at Man United with an instant.
I don't know, though, because the way that they're trying to cut the costs down, because, you could say maybe if De Gea signed that contract on reduced wages, then those wages can suddenly go to Mason Mount or whomever you want to bring in. But at the end of the day, I just think there's the quality is there in terms of Caicedo, and you can't exactly say it where, there's the English bias towards players because he plays in the same league as these players and he outshines them. I've seen Brighton play West Ham this season, and Caicedo absolutely bossed the park around at the London Stadium, and he played Declan Rice for a fool. So I know the qualities of certain and said players in this team, but the only thing I'm saying in terms of Caicedo came to Manchester United is, I don't expect him to come to Man United and hit the ground running straight away and be what he has been at Brighton, because he's going to have to adapt. He's going to have to learn the new circumstances. De Zerbe's way of playing and Tenhag's way of playing is different. And the reason why it's different is De Zerbe expects to control the game or play on the transition. Whereas Erik Ten Hag, right now we can all sit here and say, he wants to play counter-attack, transitional football, high line control. But the reality of it is, we don't actually know what Erik Ten Hag's plan is for Manchester United's style of play. Really, we don't know. All we can go off of is...
He said it. He said it yesterday, Tom. He said it yesterday. He said he wants more control in the games and he wants the passing to be better. That's what he said. He wants to control the game and have better possession.
But if you want to control the game, you don't sign Mason Mount.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you very much. Fucking hell, Tom. Thank God somebody else sees it.
If you're
gonna... While it says midfielder Bruno, Mount, Casemiro will get us 5th best next season. Ten Hag will be sacked.
Rabiot can control a ball better than Mason Mount can.
Rabiot.
And I think that says something.
I take Rabiot all day more than Mason Mount. Are you fucking kidding me?
But I think what he's going to lose, though, he's going to lose Fred, Donny van der Beek, and I think McTominay. So he's going to lose one of them. These
I said get 3 midfielders. If you go and then sign Caicedo, and then you sign that guy, somebody who can carry the ball and pass the ball, who's a good carrier or midfielder who can carry the ball. That Chinese kid. No, Korean kid who plays for Mallorca.
Yeah.
Lang. Is it Lang?
Yeah, that one. I don't know what you mean. He plays. No, he plays at. Is it not?
Yeah.
Real Sociedad that he plays for.
No, Mallorca. I'm sure it's Mallorca.
I don't know. I'm not educated on La
Mallorca.
Liga anyway. But
he's really technically gifted. He can run with the ball. He's got trickery. He's got a good pass on him. He's more like a number 10, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's called Lee Kang-in. Lee Kang-in.
Lee Kang-in, yeah.
He plays for Mallorca, yeah. Mallorca.
Hey, just get what's his position? Where does he play? Midfield?
Yeah, he plays in. Let me see now. Here,
I think he
somebody like him. So if we got him, then yeah. But Mason Mount, just to say, Tom, is that we need to replace the first teamers. Caicedo will replace a first teamer.
Yeah.
We'll give Casemiro a rest. And sometimes in the big away games at Anfield next season, Casemiro and Caicedo playing next to each other with Bruno. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Nuruddin. But the
problem is, midfielder.
Man United, we don't think like as fans. You can think about we'll get Caicedo, we'll get this, we'll get that. But the problem with Manchester United is our scouts probably recommend these players, but depending on what the manager's preference is, because I think Erik Tenhag looks at it and thinks, Casemiro, I'm going to have at least 2 or 3 years, maybe at the max, that can, if you like, give me a safe passage where I can, how I'm trying to say it, like, it can save me money in the market because I have that player, albeit the midfield is shocking. I'm not going to deny that in saying that. That's just my opinion, but I'm trying to think in Ten Hag's mind as I've got bigger priorities elsewhere that I need to establish. For example, we don't score enough goals, so we know, as far as I'm aware anyway, Man United's budget this summer, if we didn't sell any players and we had an absolute travesty, because of FFP, Man United can only spend £100 billion. That is it.
Right now, as it stands.
The problem with us is we don't sell enough players to balance the books for us to go and get a player like Caicedo in a window where you don't get penny pinched, because whatever you sell, and then you wonder at Man United where we're pissing about paying an extra £5 million for a player or £10 million. If you're selling 5 or 6 players per window, or at least a minimum of 3, and you're raking about £60 million, I don't understand what the problem is, paying a little bit over more. But the thing that you said anyway, Nuruddin, earlier was, I thought anyway was factual, was with Caicedo, I would be prepared to pay over the odds for. I honestly would. For a player like Declan Rice, I wouldn't, because I do think there is that risk there. The only thing with Caicedo is he plays in not the exact same team, but a similar style of football to how he would adapt to Manchester United, but it would take him time. Whereas Declan Rice, whenever he's played for England, he's always played. We know how Gareth Southgate plays, and we know how David Moyes plays. That's the only questionable thing I have about Declan Rice is, can he play in a transitional team where he's not thinking about getting back, he's thinking about running into the box? That's the only thing that I am unsure about, because he does it in little glimpses for West Ham, but I want to see if he gets caught out, in the opposition box and the running back to the transitional play, how good is he running back to goal? Because he's not going to be the quickest in the world, and I don't expect that. But positionally wise, to position yourself in an area where you block off players, or technically you use your ability and your awareness to scan, read where the ball could go to, these kind of things, I'm not 100% sure Declan Rice is fully developed yet. He's a good player up until now, but I don't think he's fully developed. Whereas Caicedo, I think's more developed, and I still think there is more to come that you can do with it, because you can use Caicedo in 2 ways, really, if we're being honest. You can use him and develop him to be the number 8 that you want and sit next to Fernandes behind Casemiro. Or, as you said, Nuruddin, you can use him as your life insurance policy for when Casemiro needs pulling out of the firing line. So there is 2 ways that you can use a player like that. Whereas I look at someone like Mason Mount and I think, you know what he's going to come and do. He can only play number 8 in midfield, and he's not going to play in the front 3.
No.
So suddenly this BS tax about English players and versatility, well, it's rubbish. It's rubbish. He can play one way, and he can play one way, and it's one-dimensional. That's the problem. But at the end of the day, it sums it up with Manchester United. when you don't even know who's paying off the books, and it would, like you said, it would be such a Manchester United thing to sign someone like Mason Mount, ridiculous wages, £60 million. You're basically funding Chelsea to go and get another midfielder in Ungar, who a lot of people want anyway. Like, you're just funding somebody else's progression while you do what? Stand still in quicksand. It shouldn't happen like that. But the problem with Man United is, whenever we have some brilliant scouts, why employ these people if you're not going to listen to them?
I don't know who the scouts are, to be honest. I don't believe in scouts.
I'm sorry, Tom. It doesn't go with Glazonomics. You can't operate as a football team with Glazonomics. I just want to go to Saeed. He says, forget Mount. Big up Yusuf Ibrahim. He says, forget man. I prefer Loftus-Cheek attacking midfielder in Danny Alamo. Who's that? Who's Danny Alamo again?
He plays
Olmo. He's Spanish.
Spanish international.
He plays for,
no. He plays like a false nine.
Red Bull.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. No, not for me. But all good. But thank you so much for the super stat, bro. Listen, Saeed, I come to you is simple. So we got reports breaking now. Apparently, Silva ran off the coach, ran after Fred, and he's trying to get hold of Fred to say that Fred is coming. And now, so how much we get?
You heard the songs, man. Fred will tell you apart again. He said,
you know what? No, Saeed. It's simple. We give them money and get Paulinho.
Yeah, they will never sell us Paulinho. You must be absolutely smoking, mate. That Paulinho yesterday, by the way.
Paulinho to play in the Champions League. Get him to Paulinho, mate. Get Bruno speaking. Saeed, get Bruno on the blower, on the absolute blower to Paulinho. Come and play in the Champions League with me, pal.
He would be an unbelievable player, man. He could be someone that we can rotate with Casemiro as well.
By the way, he should have been yesterday. 2-footed tackle on last year. It should have been.
He lost his head, though. That's the problem.
Lost his head, mate.
When they missed that penalty, mate, they lost the Reds just in the same way that they lost the red card, like in the FA Cup. They completely downed. Like, all of the plan was thrown out of the window with them players.
Okay, listen. I'm gonna come to you, Saeed. Where is Caicedo going? He's not coming to Manchester United, so where's he going?
I think there's a chance of possibly, for me, still Arsenal. Chelsea, for me, as a key one as well. I think they're after Ugarte, but they're also after Caicedo. I don't think Real Madrid will get him because I feel like Bellingham will be their priority signing this summer. Yeah. So I don't think they'll get...
They already got to a Mani, to be fair.
Mani, yeah. He's another one that United, you know what, man? If he's not getting game time next season...
You're dreaming, mate. What are you smoking, Saeed?
I'm telling you now, Tchouaméni could be a nice option if he doesn't come. 1 second.
How many likes are we on, guys? How many likes? We've got 190 of you in here. Smash a like on the video. It costs
Tchouaméni though, man.
Smash a like on the video. We're talking about substance here. We're talking about the real things that matter. So is Silva's chasing? So you think Arsenal and Chelsea, right?
Arsenal, Chelsea for me are the clear front runners. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I think Liverpool might sneak in there as well.
Liverpool. The thing is with Liverpool though is I don't know if
they want McAllister more. They want McAllister more than they want Caicedo for me. That's just how I would look at that.
They would never sell two players to one more.
I don't think they'd get the two of them. I think it's one or the other. And I think they.
No. McAllister's already done deal. He was already crying yesterday. McAllister's done.
He's crying.
McAllister's done deal.
That's what I mean. But I don't think
he was crying yesterday.
I don't think Liverpool's budget would stretch that far to get both of them, because I think McAllister's the big one that you get, like the big fish, if you like. That's like our Frankie de Jong saga from last summer, really.
Yeah.
That kind of money. And then someone like a Mason Mount is somebody who I would say would be maybe their second preferred option if they were chasing more than one midfielder.
Yeah.
Like say you just said about the clubs that would be in for him. Like Arsenal, I think it's hit and miss, really, because I don't think Caicedo is Arsenal's priority. If I'm being honest, I think Arsenal's priority is Declan Rice. And I just think with how much that price tag is of 120 million, Arsenal, I don't think will even break the 100 million barrier for him. If I'm being honest, I would be shocked because they can get.
Hold it there 1 second. Big up Calvin Donaldson. Lovely to meet you and your son yesterday, brother. Always love. Good to see you yesterday, Nuruddin. Greeting me like a brother. Smash the like. Yeah, yo. Always love, brother. Always love. Always, Calvin. Lovely to meet you too, bro. Big up. Is this flawless? OG's
Big up
Nuruddin.
Flawless,
Yeah, I
man.
saw Flawless there as well, man. Big up to Flawless. I saw him outside
Yeah,
of Chelsea.
man. Big up
Big
Flawless.
up to my brother Flawless, man. Listen, let me just get to Super Chat. Big up to Adewale. Adewale says, Tua Shamani or Kamavinga could leave Madrid. Too many midfielders.
Kamavinga's, I think he's untouchable. I think they're going to keep him. He's a long-term player. But Tchouaméni, though, he's not worked out for him, man. First season he was good, but second season it's not had game time. He's been injured and then just kind of fizzled out, really. So he's the one that would potentially, you never know what would happen if Jude Bellingham came in and then they started to say, you know what, we're looking for, he's not going to get game time next season because Modric might play one more season and so Cruz as well is there. So you don't know, But again, United won't be quick, man. That's the problem with us, man. We're not quick, man. We're not quick for these deals, man.
We're not a football team. We're not run like a football team. No. We're running Glazonomics and banking instruments. That's what we're running on accounting spreadsheets. That's what we are. We're not Manchester United. We're spreadsheet fucking FC. That's who we are as a football club. And some of you are taking the fucking piss if it's 62 likes. Are you serious? Are you serious? There's 200 of you in here and there's 200 likes. Listen, I've not watched Real Madrid this season. At the end of the day, I'm just barely about to keep up with Manchester United. We played that many games. That was more than enough for me.
It's been a long season, man.
The most that the other team that I've watched this season in the past 3-4 months has been Brighton. And that's why I'm talking about Caicedo. Tom, where's Caicedo going? Quickly, before we move on to the next topic.
I don't think he's going Man United. If Arsenal don't land Rice for less than 100, he goes Arsenal. If not, I think Chelsea get him. They wanted him just as much as they wanted Enzo. So I wouldn't be surprised if he went Chelsea. Money talks.
Money talks. You're right.
I don't see him staying at Brighton just for the European competition when you can get.
No. Listen, let me break it to you, Tom. Tom, let me break it to you. The Zebri says McAllister and Caicedo are going. He let it slip in an interview. The guy asked him, he said they're both going.
Well, if he goes, then he's going to go either. The only way he goes Chelsea is for the money, because I don't really see what the plan is until Pochettino gets his foot in the door. And B, the only other alternative is Arsenal. And if he's real with himself, his best option is go to Arsenal. Go to a club where they're on the up. You're not going to be sitting around maybe for a year waiting for Pochettino to get his feet under the table. Mikel Arteta has been there 4 years now. He's in the door. He knows what he's doing, and he's got a lot of those players behind him. He's got the majority of the dressing room behind him, and the odd few he doesn't, they're going out of the door. So
we're getting cast-offs, man.
Kovacic,
Rabiot, these are cast-offs, man. We should call ourselves cast-off
30-year-old fucking players at Manchester United.
We're called cast-off FC, man. We're called cast-offs, man. We get players.
Says this. She said, didn't Valencia recommend Caicedo to United? And didn't Caicedo sign a new 5-year contract in March this year? Yeah, he did. He signed a new contract. He was bought back into the team. And then because they said to him, you can go in the summer. That's the reason. And they said, we'll get a bit more money for you. That's the reason why he signed that contract. Windy. But go ahead, Tom. You were saying, listen, he's not coming to listen. If he goes to Arsenal, he's there for a decade, mate. Unless we're
100%. That's clear. That's set in stone. Like Arsenal.
And if he goes to Chelsea, he's the most natural replacement for N'Golo Kante.
N'Golo Kante. Yeah, absolutely.
If not better in terms of what deficiencies that Kante has. You know, I know he's an unbelievable player. He's been world class for so many years, but he then kind of gives you a different element of what Kante doesn't give you. So but what with us is we've got a lot to discuss, man. You know, in terms of what our players, do we let go of McTominay? Do we keep him? Do we let go of Donny? Do we? You know, it's a lot. We've got a lot of things to sort out before we can even buy players, and that's the saddest thing about it, really. Like, Chelsea. But Chelsea though, Loftus-Cheek is leaving. Azpilicueta will be leaving. There's so many players that are going to be leaving. They'll get rid of them. They'll get rid of them. Trust me. And they've got a bloated squad. Whereas our value of these players they've decreased. Donny van der Beek, what's his value now? Like Bailly, have you seen Bailly? I don't know if you heard today, but Marseille don't want to extend the loan. They said to him, go back to United. So now we've got to find a situation for Bailly. And where does he go next season? So we got to play in the thing, and then everyone gets gassed about Bailly in pre-season, and so we should play Bailly. And then what happens after that? But it's true though. That's what's going to happen again, guys. Yeah, everyone's going to get gassed by Bailly's pre-season form. We're all going to say, "Yo, keep him," and then he gets injured again, or he's not playing.
When you think about it, though, with a lot of these players that we're on about selling, like some people I'm seeing, like when what they're saying, like they're thinking about selling like seven or eight players. Like we are going if we're going to be doing that, we're trimming the fat really. And the only thing, if I'm being logical, the only thing I see in this window with Man United is, I think we're signing 3 players. I'll be real honest. I would be shocked.
Okay, name me your 3 then. Name me your 3.
Name me my 3 or name me what I think.
No, the 3 that you think that the club will sign.
Mason Mount for starters. I definitely think that they'll go for him. I just think it's a club. I just think it's a club signing. Whether it's Tenhag's preference or not, no idea. Number 9, I think they're going to chase Harry Kane all summer and get pissed about by Daniel Levy. If I'm being honest, and I think we'll end up with some like you guys were joking about earlier about Benzema or something. Listen, don't put it past Man United to go for someone like Eric Choupo-Moting or Eric Choupo-Moting or somebody like Man United will end up with some other person's scraps. Like the problem with us is, like Nuruddin, and I believe in the same camp of what Nuruddin said. If we bring in Harry Kane, I want to bring in somebody younger with him. I want to bring in an understudy. I want to bring in Evan Ferguson, Rasmus Højlund, or somebody like that. I want to bring in a younger understudy player, kind of like what Man City did in the summer, where they brought Alvarez and Haaland in together, and then they've transitioned in certain games where it suits them to play a physical player or maybe a young, quicker player in behind. So for me, I think the club are going to sign Mason Mount. You might get swayed over by someone like a Kim Min-jae as a defender. And then the striker, well, I think any person other than Harry Kane will be signed for Man United. If I'm personally, because I just don't see Manchester United being able to negotiate Daniel Levy, A, to even sell in the first place, and B, to even sell for a reasonable price that Man United are willing to pay. Because even people who are saying, go and get Harry Kane for £100 million. Man United are going to break the world record club fee in Manchester United. We're going to break the club record fee for a 30-year-old Harry Kane, of whom, has his qualities, when you've got an ownership who you don't even know who the owner is going to be. You really think you're going to drop £100 million like that?
By the way, Feyenoord are looking to get Amad Diallo back as well. Just They want him. They want to bring him. Remember, they wanted him before he went to Rangers.
Yeah. And then he got injured in that January.
He got injured. Yeah, he got injured, and then after that, he didn't go.
No. I want him back at Manchester United, mate. Sorry,
bro. He wants to start. Next season. He wants to play regular.
Honestly, send Palestri there instead for him. Send Palestri or Elanga. Send somebody like that. If we're being honest,
Elanga's got 12 clubs after him apparently, so. He surely needs to get game time. I don't know.
I don't understand.
That's the biggest mystery for me with Elanga.
Are these Man City's prototype clubs or something like? Where's these 12 clubs coming from?
Elanga's the biggest myth.
We've got 210 people watching. How many likes have we got on the video, people? Jarvis, let me know.
It's 100 by now. Should be at 100 by now.
Listen, how many likes we got on the video? At least 100 by now. Come on, people. Let's go. Listen, we're going to move to the next topic. The next topic is, if they don't, what's the point of finishing third in the Premier League and with a squad like that and burning the players out? And the last 10 games, whether you're aware of it, people, but we limped into that. We're like a wounded soldier. We're all patched up. We were on crutches to get to secure top 4, third.
Yeah.
What's the point of backing him? What's the point of that if you're not going to back the manager in this summer?
Yeah, it's true.
Listen, and this is me from Mount. If he gets Mount and turns Mount into an unbelievable player, I will go on a Straight Jacket podcast. I'll make a massive apology, apologizing for every word I said about Mason Mount. And I would come in here and I would eat the paper live on camera. But you know what? I've got a hunch about these things, like the hunch I had about fucking Maguire. So I know what I'm talking about, people. Trust me on this one. Trust me on this one. I told people Harry Maguire was the great hype, and he was the great hype. To be fair, too, he played better in the second half yesterday. Bit more physicality, Bit more from
Yeah,
him, but
he did, to be fair.
not enough to stay.
Credit to him. His comments yesterday were a bit worrying that he was talking about next season and what we need. So I don't know if he's staying or if he's not going. You know what I mean? I don't know what he's been kind of told. But all in all, I think when you go back to that comment, you're right, man. Already, you have to now set the standards, innit? You can't let not Man City, but the people that are below us catch us up again. You know what I mean? If they get into the top 4 next season on the back of us playing poorly, then it's not good, is it, guys? Is it? I don't know what you guys think about that, but I just think we've got to be consistent. We've got to come in. This is the biggest summer, that Tenhag will have. The first summer was okay in terms of, you got Casemiro, you got Anthony, you got a few of your boys in it. You got a bit of few of your faces. When you get a few names, and you feel a bit comfortable, don't you? Now it's like, well, you got to get out of your comfort zone and get players in now for the second phase of what we're trying to do. The second, kind of almost the next bit of the process, or whatever they call it nowadays. This is now bringing in players who are very, very much from world class to starting players every single game. Like, you've got to bring players in that are going to give you that added quality, the added depth, everything that you want in the second season that brings your level up one level. You've got to do it. You've got to do it. If you then stagnate, I'm telling you now, he'll stagnate in terms of his tactics, because he's literally every ounce of his management is going onto the team. You can see that with Wan-Bissaka. You can see that with certain players. But sooner or later, that will run out. Patience will run out. He'll be like, you know what? F this, man. I'm tired of just doing this every single time. Me working hard while other teams are getting players. They're getting backed.
Hey, name the teams. Newcastle.
Arsenal. Newcastle. Yep.
Chelsea, Liverpool.
Backed. Yep.
Chelsea, Liverpool.
And Liverpool, the thing is, Liverpool this season, they will be back, Liverpool will be back this season. Because I'm telling you now, if they don't get back, they're going to go further behind anyway. They need to get back. Their goal is to get back into the Champions League football and possibly compete again. Because it's been a below-par season. But they only have one below-par season. And then they get back in there. You notice that? With Liverpool, they can have one bad season when they're out of something. Or they're having a below. Remember when they just about made top 4?
Yeah.
They just about make it. And then after that, it's like
when Van Dijk was injured that season. Van Dijk was out for the season.
Yeah. It's like, go and do what you need to do to get back to the top. But Man United, though, we're going to watch Man City do a 4-peat next season. I'm telling you now already. Man City's still our favourites for me. With Haaland and them man there. And if they're going to get players this summer, yeah, man, it's game over for me. I just think it's just, yeah. I don't know what you can do, man. Can't stop these guys, man. Guardiola, Man City, with the recruitment, with the training ground, with what they're doing. Look at when they're you see the videos online. You see them how they're preparing for next season already. They're already preparing, man. They already know when to now dominate. Pep Guardiola doesn't want to leave now when he knows he can dominate. When he's looking down at everyone, thinking, you know what, you lot, man, you're rubbish, you lot. Like you can't compete with me. You can't touch me. So
he's found.
You know what? Here, I'll go there here. Tenhag here. Tenhag's questions Man U v Smithing in January window. We've seen it in the winter. All clubs around us made huge investments. We didn't, but we still made it to top 4. And by the way, just a bit of news. Manchester United will now make a historic change to next season's 3rd shirt by stitching the club crest and replacing it with the image of the devil. Devil in what?
Crazy, man.
Devil in what, mate?
Again, there's PR in it, man. They're trying to do some PR bullshit. Make it 3rd kit different, That's what they always do. Make it, Yeah, man. Get out of here, man.
I'm going to ask you the same question. By the way, people, please tell me we're on 100 likes. We're nearly 220 now. So give me 100 likes at least. Let's go. 150 likes by the end of this video today. 150 likes at the least. And that's a conservative ask. Go ahead, Tom. What's the point of doing that? We've seen, let me name the famous managers, David Moyes. Whether we liked him or not, whether we knew what he was doing, he didn't know what he was doing, but it's still hands tied behind his back. LVG, hands tied behind his back. Jose Mourinho, whether we liked his football or not, hand tied behind his back. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, tied hands behind his back. When Manchester United make it to the Champions League, Manchester United do not spend money. We know the cycle. They don't back the manager. We know the cycle. We spend money when we're out of the Champions League to get into the Champions League. And when we're out of it, we don't spend money. So talk to me, Tom.
I mean, you just summed it up really there, didn't you? Where when we made the Champions League, we don't fully back a manager. The best example I can think of was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. for the whole time, he looked at 3 players, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, in that window after he made Champions League football. He looked at Jack Grealish, he looked at Nathan Ake, and he looked at centre forward, didn't he? I can't remember who he looked at. He looked anyway. I think he looked at 3 different players, and he didn't get any of those players. He got similar players, but just not those players that he actually wanted. Erik Tenhag, he's going to come to Manchester United now. He's going to realise that Manchester United, you don't always get what you wish for, and you don't always get what you want. He can name you a player in the, Erik Tenhag could name a player in Portugal. He could say, do you know what? I like the look of Marcus Edwards at Sporting, for example. Man United would not tell him to go and get that player. They'd say, oh, go and get Neymar. PSG want rid of him, don't they? Get him on a loan. Think of the sponsors. Think of the global campaign that we can put on. PR, the capital. Like, Man United will look at that and think, what the hell? Erik Tenhag will look at this and think, have I hit an earthquake or something? Like, what the hell's going on? Man United, we don't back the managers, no. And at the end of the day, if we did back the managers, yeah, you can say it for what it is. If Erik Tenhag comes out with chest and he says like when we sign up, say Mason Mount does sign for Man United and he says he's a player that I've looked at. I tried to get him when I was at Ajax. Like he spins that story because he did. He tried to get Mason Mount when he was in Chelsea's academy before he actually went to Derby County with Frank Lampard when he was at Ajax. So there is, if you like, a connection there where he knows some of these players that he's wanting. But this is where I want to see if Erik ten Hag's right in his recruitment in terms of last season he knew the players that he was bringing in. So he already knew what he was buying. So he wasn't really gambling or risking. Whereas now he doesn't know what sort of players to bring. We don't know what sort of players are his sort of profile of players that he's not worked with before, if that makes sense. But the only thing I say with Erik ten Hag is when he talks about things like with investment and the sort of investments that we make and stuff, Man United, we don't have these big, global, investment. We don't have the scouting network of Brighton where in January you can pull a player out for 10, 15 million pounds. Like, we just don't do it. That's the problem. And if we do, it's very rare that we do it for a player who any of us even actively saying, yeah, let's get that player. Apart from when we did the Bruno Fernandes thing, because we're scraping on his arse, trying to get somebody. There was Maddison at the time, there was Ericsson, there was so many different players. But the only thing at the end of the day that it comes down to is John Murtough and Richard Arnold went around Europe on a private jet on the Piso. And I've said it before, and I will say it again. They went to Turin, they went to Barcelona, they went high and horse everywhere. They went on a full tour, mate. It was like Ibiza, Magaluf, like they were stopping all over, mate. These people, they went all over to the party capital of Europe, and do you know what they ended up with? They ended up with Caicedo on bumped up wages.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he at least done something with his career. So, we've got a sword to fall on. We just buy Casemiro. Wasn't the plan when we actually held the board meeting, was it? Oh, you want Frankie de Jong? Oh, well, I've got you the polished thing. I've got you Frankie de Jong in maybe 5 or 6 years. Couple of Champions Leagues. You know what we're saying? I've got something bigger up and coming up. So yeah.
Listen, it's crazy. It's crazy. I just want to go. Hosted by Khalid Romani Lassie says the FA Cup final this year bigger than the UEFA Champions League final.
It is. When you look at it in terms of like how big it is for both sides, you know what I mean? It's massive, man. Obviously, they've not won the Champions League, but I think the occasion, the fact that, you know what I mean, it's the one-off Manchester derby that we've not seen in my lifetime. I think in Norrid's lifetime, Tom's lifetime, never seen a Manchester derby final. It's going to be a big of occasion, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I just don't want us to get embarrassed, man, because I don't think I could trust these guys ever again, man. You know what I mean? If they embarrass me in front of in a Manchester derby as well, when it matters the most, go out there, apply yourselves, show a bit of passion, show a bit of pride, but also when you got the ball, make sure you produce the quality when it's needed. Don't be wasting the ball and wasting chances, because we won't have many chances. I'll tell you that right now.
We won't have many chances. We're not going to have the ball, so we're not going to have
the ball. I think it's going to be tough, but Ten Hag has done it before, man. At Wembley, we're unbeaten in terms of Ten Hag, unbeaten at Wembley. That's a good situation. Not concede a goal at Wembley as well, so that's another thing as well. But the thing is, though,
watch us concede the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, now listen, I think for me, what's key is that United bullied Brighton in certain games in terms of where the game wanted. We bullied Newcastle in terms of where we wanted. We tried to do the little long balls. We tried to make it rough. We did that. We tailored the game towards that. Will Tenhag do the same? Will he try and make it rough and ugly and not let them play and maybe man-mark players out the game? Maybe put a thread on De Bruyne and say, yo, listen, just man-mark De Bruyne. Maybe tell Varane to rough Haaland up, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see what Ten Hag does. If he goes toe to toe with Man City, I think we get destroyed. If we don't have a game plan,
we can't go toe to toe. See what happened to Arsenal? Are you kidding? See what happened to Real Madrid? Listen, like one of these questions, Saeed. Would you go in for Frankie De Jong?
Yes, without hesitation. Yes.
Would you go back in for Frankie De Jong? I think Tom is busy. Listen, I'll go to this, Saeed. Get this into your attention. In your heart of Hinge, do you believe that? Do you think the Glazers are going? Guys, how many likes we on? We've got 225 people in here. Get the likes up. We're going to get to 150 likes. Let's go.
Come on. Let's do it. I'm not going to lie to you. I've kind of made this theory up that, you know what, because we're linked with so many players and it's becoming in terms of the rate of how many players we're getting linked with Nordin, I just feel like they're not leaving until maybe December, man, or at least after the transfer window. Like I just look at the way things are going in terms of the transfers and way Ten Hag's talking about I want early transfers. But does he not know that we've got no new owners? Like maybe something's been communicated to him that we haven't got new owners, but I will be able to sort you out in terms of transfers and whatnot. That's the way I kind of look at Nordin. Like that's the only thing that I can think. If he then knew, oh, you know what, we haven't got ownership situation, he would then be coming out and saying, well, we've got to wait till the ownership situation sorts itself out and then we can start signing players. But he hasn't said that once, you know that. He hasn't talked about the ownership situation once. So maybe it is business as usual. Maybe it is. Apparently, what's Fabrizio saying here? Manchester United have been clear with project players who are not part of the project. Bailly returns, they will leave. Tellez returns, then they will leave. Phil Jones, Twanzebe, and there will be more outgoings as well. So let's see, man.
In some BS story that we already know and makes it sound like it's some breaking news.
Yeah,
we already know this. Absolutely happy merchant. That guy, honestly, he's so desperate. Guys, get the likes up. We need to 160 at least. There's 230 of you in here. So I'm finding it really difficult to believe the Glazers are going because, and I told everybody that they were never going to sell. Everybody told me the March, May, beginning of May. Now we're going into June. I can't see it happening. But do you believe the reports that after the FA Cup, they're doing it on purpose so that nobody can protest? So Jim Radcliffe and Glazers are both staying.
Yeah, that's true. You know, then no one's going to really protest because there's no match day to build momentum. So it doesn't make sense protesting. But, bro, we should have heard something in the middle of March, man, April time. Then had that opportunity to build and identify signings, have that time for recruitment. How are you going to do all that in one summer? Like, how is that even like that? That's not normal. And even then, whoever comes in, the new owners might be panicking, saying, you know what, we need to buy players and then do what Todd Bowley done. And we don't want that as well. We want to be structured planning. That's what we want. We don't want to be held to shelter
like we used to, like going like we did last summer. Big up to Windy. Windy says this. Windy says, Tom Fred said Casemiro told last summer that he was coming to United. So Merton and company got nobody from their European tour. Well, listen, I've refused to believe that. I think he said, the thing I quote from Casemiro said, please somebody go and tell them I'll sort that. This after the Brentford. I can sort that for them. He wanted to get out of there. He wanted to secure. Real Madrid were never going to offer him, Saeed, for a 5-year contract. No other football club was. Manchester United were because we're desperate. That's what was happening. Ten Hag on De Gea will be next season. But yes, I wanted to say he's always been my number one because the club, like Manchester United, there must be a competition in all positions. So, Saeed, also with De Gea, do you want him to stay?
No, for me, he has to move on now. I think David De Gea, you know what, we love him, you know what I mean? Yesterday as well, by the way, Nordin saved a penalty. Like first one since 2014, can you believe?
Yeah, I was there. Leighton Baines. 2017.
Leighton Baines, yeah. No, 2014 it was. 2014.
I was there. You know what? I was actually where you sit on the east stand. I was on the upper tier of the east stand. It was
Wow.
right below me that game.
Yeah. So
And he made a brilliant save as well against Baines again from a corner, where Baines put it top corner in the top bin, and he scattered across and saved it. Absolute wonder save that was.
What a player. You know what I mean? So these are the kind of situations that are happening. You know what I mean? And obviously, I think the manager, apparently the deal has been agreed, Northern, you know, between the I just look at it and I think, if it's been agreed, then I just think for me, it says here, look, it's just, you know what, to be fair, he's just come out and put a quote out. Eric Tenhag, on whether De Gea will be staying next season, yes, but I will not say he will always be my number one, because in a club like Man United, there must be a competition for all positions.
Yeah, I've got it here. I've got it on the screen here.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, big up to.
It says big up to United Therapy Chief Editor. Ten Hag and De Gea will be next to the yes, but it will not say he will always be my number one, because in a club like Manchester United, there must
What's that though? Let me ask you a question though. Is that just media training?
62 games this season. You can't do it with 11 players. It's impossible. You need to double positions. Does he know what football club is that? Does Eric Ten Hag know what football clubs he's at?
Wait, let me ask you a question though. That De Gea comment there though, is that political? Is he just saying that just for the sake of it, a PR, or is he saying it because he actually means it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we need competition. Like, he's brought in Butland and Dubravka, but they're not big competition. Come on, man. Competition is buying David Raya, not these sort of players.
Competition is getting Diego Costa.
Well, there you go.
He's got a decade ceiling, Saeed. That man is a man of a unit at that young age. He's already a unit, and he dominates his area. I'm sorry to say, Saeed, I swear to God, I'm not lying to you. That near post header, if he comes out, he can punch that.
Oh my God! But Maguire though for the goal, man. That Maguire, man. Oh my days.
You mean the potential penalty? You mean the penalty?
But obviously, I think it was who was the one that gave the penalty?
The way he was running. Did you see the way he was running?
Oh God! Middleweight boxer, man. I'm telling you, he's just. Oh my days! I think everyone.
What's going on?
I'm like, the ball. I'm like, take the yellow card. Take the yellow card, Saeed. Take the yellow. We don't concede that penalty. We don't concede that penalty. And Caicedo should know better other than bloody bring the guy down. The guy wasn't going anywhere, mate. He would have been one hell of a shot to beat De Gea from there.
Yeah.
It's crazy, Tom. Would you take? Listen, no, we're not about. It's not about being pro Qatar or Jim Radcliffe, Red Devil TV. Big up to you, brother. It's about. I want full sale. I don't want ounce of a percentage of Glazers staying at this football club. Ounce of a percentage. I want them fucking gone. Good riddance. Finally, so I can go to that store and buy a shirt. Finally, they'll be gone. The vultures that have run this club into the ground. I don't think you guys understand. Listen, we're 250 in here, people. Let me know. We've got 3 minutes left of the show. Let me know, people. Let me know what we've got, how many likes we've got. If you haven't got 160, then you're taking an absolute piss. I don't rate Raya. I'm sorry. I don't rate Raya. I don't rate Raya. I don't see him. I think he's smallish. I don't think he's physically dominating. Tom, what do you think about Raya?
Do you know what? I put him in the same category as someone like a Jordan Pickford, if I'm honest. I think he's a similar goalkeeper. The thing is with someone like David Raya is he's not amazing with his feet. I think this is honestly, I think it's a myth. He's not amazing with his feet. He's okay. I don't see if you want me to say something about the perfect goalkeeper we should get. I don't care what it does. Go and break the bank and go and get Diogo Costa from Porto. If you want a new goalkeeper, you go and get somebody like that who can set you back for 10 years. You go and get somebody long term. You don't go and get, 10 years. That's what I'm saying. 10 years. So you for a goalkeeper, I always say whenever you buy a goalkeeper, it has to be for 10 years plus. But the problem with us is you have some clubs like Bayern Munich, for example, who have Manuel Neuer now. They're going to be looking for a new goalkeeper soon.
And by the way, did you see Bayern Munich? You just mentioned them, Tom. Did you see that side?
Yeah, sacked them.
Within hours. Like
that's standards though, Nuruddin. We don't have that. That's what I mean.
Well, the sporting director went on the pitch, didn't he? And there's like memes in there that he got sacked on the pitch or something, didn't he?
By the way, there's a comment there, Cobble from Dortmund. He's so good. Red Devils TV I'm sorry, yeah, but you need to watch Cobell again. The weekend. Did you watch him on the weekend? Did you watch him in the Classica?
Yeah,
he's an awful keeper. He's jelly hands. He's Kepa times 10. Jelly hands. Jelly hands, honestly. Jelly hands, mate. That's what he is.
Him and Jan Sommer, mate.
Let me close out the show. Tenhag, I hate in myself after the Brentford. I'm responsible. I hate managers when they're winning and they say, I won the game. That's Jose, by the way. He's having a pop at Jose. And when they're losing, they say, the players lost the game. No, we win together, we lose together. Yeah.
When's he had an interview with Henry Winter? Is that just?
They must have had lots of sit downs yesterday, Saeed, for it to be produced today, because it's the last Premier League game of the season, isn't it? So he sat down with the Times, sat down with the Telegraph, sat down with all these guys. This is what happened after the game yesterday. So after when he gave his press conference after the game, then it's the TV broadcasters. Then he sits down with the broadsheet. Listen, it is what it is. Manchester United for me. I don't think the Glazers, for me, at this point, I think this Jim Radcliffe and the Glazers are staying, and I think that they're going to announce it on the. But Tom, I'll give you. You've got 30 seconds to tell me your point of view. Do you think Jim Radcliffe and the Rat and the Glazers are a done deal, and that they're going to announce it? We're going to hear some news towards the after the final to get the PR spin when Man United gets smashed. We're going to take it as a PR spin and to go, I'll take it. This is Saeed, I'm not going to lie to you. I'll take it getting smashed. I don't care if they do the fucking treble. I'll take it. I was willing to take it to go to Championship to get rid of the Glazers. Yeah. But I want a full sale of Manchester United. Full sale. Yeah. Go ahead, Tom.
No, it's not a done deal. And the reason why I'll say it's not a done deal, short and simple, is if they wanted to go with Jim Ratcliffe, they've had 2-3 weeks to go with him now. Nothing's changed with him. The only thing that's changed is the Qataris have put more money on the table, and now there's a feeling that they might be prepared to put even more money on the table, and that it's not their final offer. And at the end of the day, as Saeed said towards the start of this stream, the Glazers, they are that greedy in terms of they would be happy to wait, even if they had to wait all the way till Christmas, and then they actually got the money that they wanted. And as I've always reiterated, just as a last sort of point is, you've always got madmen who are billionaires in the world. You have it. There's nothing stopping an Elon Musk, a Jeff Bezos, a Bill Gates, whoever you want to use, waking up tomorrow and think, you know what, I want to buy Man United. And you know what? All this process, mate, do you know something? I'd love for something like that to happen. Even though it's a bit of a conspiracy, I'd love for it. Because it'd show these people up for what they are. How greedy. You've waited 5 months, 6 months, and then suddenly somebody can do it in a couple of weeks. Like, it's a madness.
What do you think to this, Saeed? Windy says, I will be surprised at the FA Cup to see Joel Avram with either the Qataris or Radcliffe in their box. And then that will be the announcement.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know. I don't think for me they'll announce it after the FA Cup. I just think it'll be too raw. Again, PR-wise, maybe it would. But I think they're that much concerned about their money, they wouldn't want to announce anything until they have everything that they want. No, and that will be... 100%. Look at Tenhag. Look at the comments there from Tenhag there. I think he says there, look, if you want to be competitive in this league, you have to invest. I need signings, yes. He's actually begging for signings. It's mad.
Of course he is. Of course he is. Of course he is. Big up to Khalid Wambadi Lassie, by the way. Tenhag, if Maguire will stay at the club, let's say I'm happy that he's here when we needed him and he did his job. But also, decision has to make. He has to make. So I didn't see that there.
Yeah. There you go. But it's all decision has to make. But then again, that's what I'm saying to you. It's like, no, we make a decision. Like, what are we doing? Like this situation here. Just leave. Like, what's the? This is why I'm just like confused, man.
Stay at Manchester United, then he's the biggest coward and he's only in it for the money. You want to play for England. You want to be international. You have 6th choice, 7th choice. Luke Shaw. He trusts Luke Shaw more than he trusts you.
Yeah.
What does that say as a centre half? Listen, big up to everybody, but I want to big up the contribution in the chat. Please, we have 50 people in here.
How many likes we're on now?
So subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Big up to Khalid Wambadi Lassie, Chief at the United Real Therapy. Big up to Saeed TV. Make sure you check him out on all social media. And make sure you check him out. You check out the 233 Straight Jacket podcast where I lost my shit about Mason Mount. You have to see it. You have to see it. Saeed tried to be objective and all of that. Tell me this and that, but it is what it is. Tenhag, clear message to the ball. If you want to be competitive in the league, you have to invest. I need signings, yes. Oh my God, but it's not up to me. Some clarity would help the summer plans. Signings decisions are complicated by the protracted sale of the club. I mentioned the fans Glazers out chance. Yes, he replies. Check this. What does this mean, Saeed? What does this mean, Tom?
Yeah, listen, he knows this. He knows everyone's disgruntled. This is the problem.
Who's saying this, by the way? Who's saying this? I've only just come back. Who's saying this?
Tenhag.
Signings is complicated.
Did you see Fred? So we threw yesterday in the Lower East Stand. We threw Glazers out.
I know. I was there. He threw it back, but he obviously didn't want to get in trouble, innit? You know what I mean? So
yeah, man, pick it out, man. It's a scarf. This is our. You know what people think? This is our scarf. You know, this is like new and East scarf. This is the history of our football.
I know. They just think it's a Glazer out scarf. It's actually not, but. Obviously, you know what I mean. This is one of them where
that's the proactiveness, though. When it's, you know, it wouldn't surprise me when they do about security risks or protocols, like at Carrington. Can you remember when the fans stormed Carrington and all going to Solskjaer to go out to them and everything? They were wearing the scarves and everything. Then some people thought that they were just taking piss when we were playing Norwich.
Check this out. Eski says here, Eric Tenhag says Mason Greenwood has shown in the past that he's capable of doing that front row, scoring 35 times.
Yeah.
So, are we getting him back?
Well, I don't know. He looks like he's obviously saying, you know, that he wants him, but obviously he doesn't have that choice, innit? Basically, he's saying that he doesn't have the choice.
I think the Mason Greenwood thing would be more. It would be forced onto Eric Tenhag. I don't really think he has a say.
He doesn't have an opinion, yeah.
I don't think he has a problem.
Okay, you know what? There's a lot of weight behind, but I know for 100% fact that by looking at the social media of certain players, high-profile Manchester United players, they do not want Mason Greenwood out.
Yeah.
Or they're Mason Greenwood out. They do not Mason Greenwood to come back. So it's going to be interesting for team harmony. You don't have to get on with each other, but that's a massive decision for Manchester United to make. But big up, Saeed. This is Saeed. When's the next show? Let the people know.
Tomorrow, man. I'll be back tomorrow. Best of the Rest show. So make sure you tune in tomorrow, man. Love to everyone.
Sure you follow Saeed TV across all social media and Tom Journalist One, especially if you want to know anything about the Glazer takeover, the Glazer ownership and the takeover and everything else. He's your man. It is what it is. Tenhag said he showed. Oh, okay. Whatever he returns, decision whether he returns, he says. But the emphasis is not his decision to whatever he returns. But listen, Therapy Army, smash a like on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 10K. Hit the notification button because it lets you know when we're next live. Let's go. Big up Killis from Lassie. You are on fire today, brother. Big up to the usual.
Big up, yeah, man. Big up Killis.
Everybody in the chat, man, who got involved.
Yeah, nice up for the article. I'm going to read it now.
Yourself. I'll be live tomorrow or tomorrow maybe reacting to some of these Eric Tenhag sensational quotes. We might be tomorrow or maybe Wednesday, but definitely Wednesday we'll be doing the preview for Man City. Oh my God. Get ready, people, because I'm already biting the nails. I'm already biting these nails. It is what it is. It's a game. They've got to go out there and fight to the death. And if they lose, I'll still clap them. If they lose, I'll come here and defend them. If they make us embarrassed, like Saeed, I will sell them all, mate. I want to get rid of them all. But it is what it is. But big up to everybody. Big up to Eddie. Big up to Jarvis. Big up to everybody who contributes to Real Therapy. We'll see you next. Take care. Love and light. Take care. Look after yourselves, people. Enjoy the bank holiday Monday if you're in the UK, man. Enjoy the rest of the hours that are left. Six short of 50. Go on, smash a like on your way out, man.
6 of you only.
6 of you. Smash it. That's a decent 150 likes. Smash it on your way out, people. Good night. Take care. Sarah.